Welcome to Saltrock Colony, Supreme Commander Forge Alliance. This is 3599. An old game here. We got LordMarshal as cybran going first 2 ground, 5 pigeons, 2 mass extractors. The standard build. He is taking on a very good player here, Gitzi. He's going first land and playing his UEF. So UEF on cybran battle. This map. A few civilians here undefended. This is really a map for 3 players, 3 equivalent spots. See a whole bunch of civs in the middle, but these are protected by some Tech 1 PDs. Don't want to go there early on, as well as some anti-air, but civs here, quite a bit of mass. We'll see the 2 players expanding to this spot up on top, where we can get quite a few of those mass extractors. Of course, we also have an ocean here. We might see a naval battle. A very early hunter here from LordMarshal sneaking in around the edge. You can see he's looking for this expanding engine, which is coming from Gitzi. Hydra here is a very big prize, and it appears that it's going to be a lot of damage from this hunter. Absolutely no protection for that NG. Have a group of a whole bunch of mech marines from Gitzi. First shots of the game, 2 minutes. And we're going to see a dead NG. He's going to try to fight back, but first kill of the game, no hydro for Gitzi, and a hydro for LordMarshal. So the early fight goes LordMarshal's way. Now we actually see this hunter forcing these 3 mech marines instead of putting pressure. LordMarshal is having to deal with the hunter, and we see a group of 3 hunters going up on top. I'll look for any expanded energies. Absolutely no expansion from Gitzi to the top mass extractors. Very aggressive engine now from LordMarshal. He's going to the civs. He's probably expecting Gitzi's ACU to show up as well. Appears to be a Tech 1 land spam, 5 land factories with minimal power from LordMarshal. And great expansion on the engines. Once he gets that Hydra, he's going to have a huge advantage. And expanding Angie to the top. Looks like the ACU for Gitzi does something very strange. He's actually going up to the top. I've always seen in competitive games both ACUs get here in the middle and fight over these civs, and then expansion to the top with hunters and energies. But here Gitzi going with the ACU. He's definitely going to claim these civs. We're going to see a whole bunch of mech marines attack LordMarshal, and they run away, so that's a good move. Appears that Gitzi just completely walked and through those civs, didn't get the mass. He's just going for the mass extractor. So he's going to try to capture the top base. Of course, LordMarshal realizing that Gitzi didn't show up. Here 4 kills for Gitzi. He's going to push here on the bottom. There is no ACU here. There is a pretty nice tank force. Perhaps 10-15 tanks, but that's not going to be enough to stop an ACU. We are seeing first air now. Looks like 5 land factories planned for Gitzi, and an air factory making interceptors. And now an air factory built by LordMarshal. He's making bombers. First bomber, that's kind of crazy given that there are already interceptors over his base. Now it appears a good win here for Gitzi against these Manti. Big numbers advantage. LordMarshal still with only 1 kill, about to start engaging those tanks. Tech 1 PD for safety here for Gitzi. Gitzi is getting some mass extractors plus a PD. And really fast expansion here, plus a factory being built by LordMarshal up on top. But given this ACU, all these units are in pretty big trouble. And here comes a bomber. Completely misses before LordMarshal gets shut out of the air by Gitzi's air. LordMarshal actually has pretty good interceptors of his own. Now getting a bomber. 4 interceptors and a bomber for Marshal. Marshal again a 2-1 PD of his own. Well, that's very strange given that he's got the ACU. We have a Tech 1 PD standoff here. An ACU versus a pretty massive force. And looks like somewhat of a creep from Gitzi. And this Florida Manti definitely want to run away. They got a Tech 1 PD here plus an ACU. But they can do some real damage here if they avoid the ACU. Just kill the mass extractors. And then just go down. But not a very good move there from LordMarshal. And finally, maybe 1 Mantis will survive this. You see Marshal moving up. He's going to run into the Tech 1 PD. couple of arties here for Marshal. He perhaps sees them. And a good push from Gitzi, very timely. He just took out that entire Mantis force. LordMarshal is going to get some veterancy, however. Needs to start overcharging. 12 kills now for LordMarshal. Big numbers here for Gitzi. He's going to force Marshal into the water. This is a really good move now for Gitzi. Ran that ACU over now at 2,000 health. He's going to keep on pushing. We see actually T2 ground now coming out for LordMarshal, some hoplites. These will be able to stop this advance from Gitzi. It looks like area is going to belong to Gitzi. He's got T2 land as well. Actually, no, yeah, T2 land. Multiple T2 engineers moving into this area. They're going to get some T2 PD. Perhaps keep Marshal in the water for a long time. Marshal not getting an upgrade on the ACU. And as expected, the hoplites have turned all these strikers back. We should see the backwards motion. We should see a big retreat. It's actually a lot of Arty in this. Arty and the interceptors. The hoplites are moving in. And up on top, Gitzi getting an upgrade. Very secure. Not clear why he didn't push with this ACU. He had a big advantage. We are now seeing some pillars for Gitzi. Here it looks like a pretty even fight. The Manta have been sacrificed by the Mantis. Pretty large force now with 8 hoplites. These should be able to do a lot of good work for Marshal. He's about to finish his upgrade. Looks like NG here taking advantage. A lot of mass here. T2 PDs. We see T2 NGs from Gitzi. This area is very secure now for Gitzi. And I hear the pillar getting a lot of kills. Multiple pillars here taking care of business. No chance for the Manta. And you can see the civs are still alive in the middle. Actually, this PD here is missing, but a lot of kills for this black. 1 kill for the civs is too many. Gitzi nearly completed his upgrade as well. It appears that LordMarshal has T2 on his ACU. Still sitting in the ocean. Good work with the hoplites. Looks like a T2 PD creep here attempt that is unsuccessful by Gitzi. Too many hoplites. And only one T2 PD really built here, plus some T1 PDs. And up on top we got Gitzi. He's got the gun, no T2 yet. But all these units here from Marshal basically are going to die. Look at Marshal's base, big T2 land spam. No NGs on this T1 air spam, so this T2 land spam is paying off. You see these hoplites moving in hard. Take out the T2 PD. And some T2 point defense from LordMarshal is probably unnecessary given how powerful his land units are. He is in quite a bit of trouble on top. You got Gitzi rolling in. Whole bunch of pillars, shields, and ACU with a gun. One thing he doesn't have is flak, but that's really not a problem. There is not the focus for Marshal. Multiple T2 PDs from Marshal here is probably a little bit of an overkill. Getting some mask structures and a nice push now from LordMarshal. He is facing a couple T1 PDs. With enough micro, these will not have any success. Now we are seeing T2 PD for Gitzi. This is desperate times for Gitzi here. He does not want Marshal moving in on his base. This is a very impressive T2 force from Marshal, but big trouble for Marshal now at his base. See Gitzi moving in. A UEF commander, very powerful. Really the only thing that stands in his path is a bunch of hoplites, which are very vulnerable to overcharges, plus a couple Manta. We should be seeing either T2 PD or T1 PD, and we are not seeing them. So you can see simultaneously trouble for both players. This force right here for hoplites, not much that can be done. This T2 PD is the best that can be done, but just too many hoplites. Actually a disaster now for LordMarshal at his main base. One thing to note, the top completely belongs to Gitzi. And this base, but now with T2 mass extractors, is a huge loss for LordMarshal. But one thing to note, this base here for Gitzi is in huge trouble as well. So the bottom belongs to LordMarshal, the top to Gitzi, and both of their bases are in trouble. It's a question, who's in more trouble? So far it looks like Gitzi's base is definitely in better shape. There you can see Gitzi now with 46 kills in his ACU. Marshall's base is basically gone. There's still a few hoplites here up on a hill, watching as their base has just been completely annihilated. There is still one T2 mass extractor, and not much defense here. There's some P-gens which are in quite a bit of trouble, but absolutely no defense, and Gitzi can keep on rolling through. Now Marshall moving in with his ACU into Gitzi's main base. If Gitzi was to lose it, which looks like he will, he's going to lose his T2 land factory and quite a bit of power. See a new base being constructed by Gitzi up on top. Not too much power anywhere for Gitzi. One thing to note, Gitzi, he's not making power with his ACU. That's kind of crazy. ACU without many kills. And the gun should be Engis doing that. Now here comes the T2 force with the pillars rolling through for Gitzi, taking out Marshall's units. These hoplites got to retreat. Now we are seeing something like a base switch, but big trouble. This is such an important force now for Gitzi. See some T2 PDs here. These could be very important. Tech 1 land factories, and there goes Gitzi's base. The Tech 2 PD here is going to get a lot of kills. Gitzi getting more power. He's got to get a factory with Engis here. So much mastery claimed for him. Also a lot of mastery claimed for Marshall as well. But each one of these mass extractors, so much mass invested into this base by Marshall. And now Marshall here at minute 18 destroys Gitzi's base, but this force from Gitzi, this pillar just ran over the bottom part of Marshall's base, and Marshall's in quite a bit of trouble. He does have a nice group of units here, 3 land factories making man-typeless engineers. And he's going to rebuild. He's making power himself. One thing that he does, he's got a T2 ACU, so a very good unit here in this fight. Gitzi now a Tech 1 ACU, so he builds these much slower, although NG should be doing that job. T2 force from, wow, this is a 26 kill pillar, 21 kill, 11, 15. These are hero units here for Gitzi so far. Probably the most important units in this game at this point. We see a pretty large Tech 1 force from Gitzi here, can perhaps put pressure on Marshall's old base, or Marshall's new base. And this seems interesting here. This could be trouble for Gitzi if he doesn't get rid of these units. You can see this Engis taking these mass extractors. This T2 force. Thinking about what to do. We still have that hero hoplite force. These also have this T2 a lot of kills, a 20 kill hoplite. We might see confrontation between these hoplites and this Tech 1 force up on top. And if these hoplites can actually, there's 9 hoplites, can push these units back, there's really no reason they can't with proper micro, but that is not proper micro. Oh, terrible move from LordMarshal. I was really having a lot of hopes for these hoplites that ran right into that force, did not use their range, and they're all dead. So that may have been the last chance for Marshall in this game. Now Gitzi with 70 kills, rolling through, found out. So 2 really bad things just happened for Marshall. He lost his hoplite force, and his secret base is now found out by an ACU with a big gun. So Gitzi is going to kill that. We do see LordMarshal here at his base. He's got plenty of power. He's got 19 kills on a T2 ACU. He's got a couple of T2 PDs. So he'll be safe for now, but he really has no attacking options left. He lost his hoplites. That's so terrible. We're going to see this T2 PD do a good job. Otherwise this could be over. If Marshall loses this power, this game is over. We do see simultaneous attack. These pillars with a shield moving in from the back. Marshall now with 23 kills. And those PDs did a good job, but the pillars are still alive. A couple overcharges from Marshall. And power is still alive. Good work from Marshall. So perhaps a comeback. Well, maybe not. He just got 1 factory left on this entire map. And here comes Gitzi. 81 kills. He's moving in Marshall's direction. We can see a nice base here from Gitzi. He killed Marshall's base just a little faster than Marshall killed his base. Got a lot more time to build. Got plenty of power. Got T2 ground now. Still a lot of mass to reclaim. T2 engineers moving out in the field. The top is very secure. Now LordMarshal getting a T2 power generator. Let's see what he can do. There's a lonely Mantis here with a single kill. Gets taken out, and map control is entirely in Gitzi's hands. See a couple T1 mass extractors, 3 T1 mass extractors, and an NG. This factory making some NGs. So Marshal is going to try. He is going to be attacked from the top by Tech 1. He's going to be attacked from bottom by the ACU. We do see a couple 2 kills. Here's a couple, about 5 T2 PDs. And here comes the first assault. Actually, it looks like 6 PDs and now a shield. But Marshal has got plenty of power. Some of these mass extractors being upgraded probably won't make it. Now Gitzi moving in. Marshal getting more T2 PDs. Marshal has lost his last factory. Still an NG here alive. Marshal making more T2 PDs. And that's a pretty good defense here against Tech 1. Tech 1 dies very quickly against T2. Now Marshal is going to attack Gitzi's ACU. Gitzi at 89 kills, 13,000 health. Marshal at 32 kills. And looks like Marshal's main base is in quite a bit of trouble. If these T2 PDs can stay alive and protect this power, Marshal's in pretty good shape. And actually Marshal's chasing Gitzi down. And now Marshal's base, the last guns are dying, the last guns are dead. It's a matter of time before Marshal does not have any power. Marshal making a power generator, and he most likely won't be able to complete it. He's got 3,000 power left plus 10. Perhaps a Tech 1 would have been better because he's about to stall. And a suicide now for Marshal. He realized he just lost the game. It's a very exciting game, but Gitzi wins.